Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name remains Nemeka Onyeka Obiariri. You saw the MBS report. Inflation still up by up from 31.7% to 3.2%. Food inflation 40%. This is despite the fact that Naira gained the whooping 40% over the dollar over the last 1 month, from a high of 1,009 to the current level of 1,200. Now the question is, the simple question: if the dollar has lost to the Naira to about 40%, why is inflation galloping rather than retracing? First of all, we need to understand why we are where we are. We need to make proper diagnosis to be able to provide long-lasting and sustainable solutions. Panacea. Nigeria needs curative measures, not opiates or elixirs. As I'm talking to you now, I am having a bit of kind of headache, or will I call it, the headache is just a symptom. I need to first of all pick my BP machine, run test to know if my BP is high, if my BP is okay, it's not okay, I know what to do. You need to first of all diagnose a problem to be able to provide sustainable, lasting solutions. Tackling the symptoms and not tackling the root cause will not solve it. Kudos to Yemi Cardoso. He has done well using his monetary policy instruments to bring down the level of dollar to Naira exchange rate from 1,009 to 1,001, and we expect him to move it back to the 750 level it was when this government came to be. We also expect him to move it down to 199 level, 190 level it was, 199 level it was in May 2019, May 29, 2015. Of course, it's a dollar that, but it's doable. There was a time in the history of this country when the Nigerian local currency, the Nigerian pounds, was stable against the dollar for 6 consecutive years. Please take an excursion back to history. Between 1960 to 1966, the Nigerian pence, because Nigeria used to have them pounds and pence, 65 pence of Nigeria, which is less than 1 pound of Nigeria, was equivalent to $1. The Nigerian local currency then was stronger than the US dollar, and it was consistently stable for 6 years. Do you know why? That was a time this country was very, very productive. We had a constitutional, physical, socio-economic, governance, security, resource production, and distribution framework that encouraged productivity, that encouraged the best of us going into public service to make policies, to occupy political offices in such a way that Nigeria was very productive. We had young men like Sir Louis or Sir Chukwemeka Odumegwu, who graduated from Oxford, some of them from the best university in the whole world, coming back to become divisional provincial officers in the public sector, going to ministries, going to agencies. So we had the best of Nigeria, the brightest of minds in the public sector. In fact, it was even so, even in the early 80s, I had an uncle who read economics, worked in the UK civil service, came and joined the Imo State civil service, Uncle Eme. So we had some of the best minds in the public sector. Those guys who are in the public sector, either appointed office or elected office holders or civil servants, to just go and loot. They were there to bring in their brain, their creativity into creating policies and programs that enabled Nigeria to be productive. So the first 6 years of Nigeria was the golden era. We had men who were very creative. We had a young medical doctor, 39 in 1959, Michael Obara, who became the premier of the old Eastern Nigeria, who involved deep intelligent consultants, the Letutum group in the US, and they built world-class infrastructure, developed 214-kilometer industrial belt. Please, this video may be a little longer. Just bear with me. Nigeria was productive. We had the granite pyramid of the north, the cotton of the north, the textile of the north. The west had cocoa. The tallest building in the southwest of Nigeria, as at that time, was built using cocoa proceeds. Awolowo had a massive free education program that had catered for over 430,000 people. Those who went to University of Ibadan and secondary school and primary school in the southwest enjoyed massively. Fresh graduates had brand new cars given to them. Things were smooth. The economies were growing. The old Eastern economy was growing at the average of 9%, fastest in Commonwealth. Those that were going to the political office were not there, we are not jagudas. These were men that were refined. One of the wealthiest men in Africa then, Sir Louis Ojukwu. In fact, in the 50s, when the Queen came to Nigeria, it was his limousine that was used to ferry the Queen. The federal government of Nigeria could not even afford limousine, but a private citizen provided his limousine. He was chairman of 15 top corporations in Nigeria, and he was a parliamentarian. He went to parliament to add his value, to add his intellect. He didn't go there because he wanted money or to begin to allocate constituency project for himself or begin to hustle for accommodation in Abuja or begin to look for who will give him money to steal in form of palliative to constituency. Sir Louis Ojukwu and his likes were in the assembly, parliament, to make laws, to provide oversight. Imagine when such a billionaire, imagine where Aliko Dangote is providing oversight to one small minister and minister. What are you going to offer to him as bribe to make him not to do what is right? These guys were the kind of men that governed Nigeria. Nigeria was very productive. We didn't have fossil fuel then much. We just had Olubri or some other places. Our economy was agro-based. And we built a buoyant economy that did not have armed robbers, kidnappers, terrorists, bandits, all manner of motley crowd of criminals, both the political and few criminals that we had today. And Nigeria was productive. Inflation was very low. Low single digit. Economy was growing 9% per annum. Today, what do we have? We are busy chasing shadows, doing all manner of shenanigans. See, there's a limit to what Yemi Cardoso can do. Yemi Cardoso has brought us. See, let me tell us the truth. Food inflation 40%. Do you know why we have food inflation of 40%? Because of insecurity. Insecurity as at the root cause. Farmers are not going to farm. Those who attempt to go to the farm are kidnapped. I'll give you an example. My 74-year-old mother used to live in my village, Amagihubokigwe. There is no year that my mother does not hire laborers and people. I give her the money and she cultivates 5 hectares, 4 hectares of new fresh land. My father, before he died, did cashew plantations for her. I even bought some. I bought 300 plus for her. So she has massive agrofields that she used to cultivate with the help of laborers. Of course, you know the value creation. Those laborers will be paid and all those stuff, and she will harvest, and there will be food. The cashew plantations were there. I even had planned to acquire more hectares just to develop it. Imagine the kind of jobs. As at that time, in the agro park we had 117 people, youths employed. Insecurity came. The factory that we spent 98 million to build packed up. The pig pen that we developed because we wanted to cover the supply gap. These Chinese in West Africa consumed almost about $3 billion worth of pork, and mostly from Brazil. And we said, okay, I met with some of them and they told me the kind of things we need to do. We brought in the right pig that they need with the right environment. One day, bandits entered that place, slaughtered those pigs, 10-week-old pigs. They were hungry. Insecurity in the land. So it's insecurity. So I'm giving you an example. With my mom, my own mother, leaving the village for bandits and criminals. 6 hectares of land that is normally would have been cultivated in this farming season is no longer going to be cultivated because she has been removed from the ecosystem. The factory we built, 98 million naira factory that is supposed to process 20 million liters of palm oil and palm oil value chain in a day, is lying fallow. Nobody, all the employees sacked. The pig pen that was supposed with our plan to be about 1,000 pigs. Now, when we built it, was supposed even to biodigest the pig poo to provide fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, organic fertilizer, even to generate power there with the methane that will be from the biodigestion is gone. And I'm just giving you little experience in a space of 6-7 years from 2016 to 2020. We lost, the investors I gathered lost 325 million under the aegis of the Southeast Farms and Agricultural Processing Company Limited. What is the issue? Insecurity. So if some of us have been taken out of the ecosystem in the Southeast that's relatively safe, then imagine what is happening in the food belt of the middle belt and the north and northwest. It's insecurity. So we can keep on playing and pussyfooting. You make those so good kind of you or doing well. Please bring the dollar down to 100 naira to $1. But as long as those on the physical side, the governors, the Mr. President, do not fix the insecurity. It's not enough to parade 22 children. Oh, kidnappers have released them without paying ransom. Who are we going to ask? By the way, why were they even kidnapped in the first instance? How were they even able to kidnap them in the first instance? We have profile solutions. We can keep on wasting our time. Very simple. Lawful terror deters unlawful terror. The current security architecture of Nigeria is not working. We begged you guys, we've pleaded. Restructure Nigeria back to 1963. President Bola Tinubu has always been at the forefront since 1999. Physical federalism, sovereign national conference, resource control, whatever, everything before he became president. Now he's president, commander-in-chief. The responsibility is on him to galvanize the governors, to restructure Nigeria back to the 1963 framework. If we want to solve this problem we have sustainably, fix the problem from the roots. Building 700-kilometer coastal road with 15 trillion naira will not solve the problem. It will not reduce poverty. It will not reduce terrorism. It will not create productivity. And they know this. 80% of the federal roads are debt traps. You can't not even repair the ones. The stealing in the oil and gas sector is unabated. It is still going on. Output at 1.4 million barrels a day. Output was 2.5 million in 2010. And yet, we see this problem. We are not tackling them. We are busy chasing shadows. And we think inflation will come down. How? El-Rufai was on television talking about how we spent 8 trillion on subsidy when we said that was not. El-Rufai was part of the people that did the restructuring panel that gave their report. How come? Why didn't they implement that report under Buhari? We keep on playing games with the life and destinies of 270 million people, playing politics when we know the right thing to do. To fix insecurity is the easiest thing you would do. Security is indigenous. It's only the people who understand the terrain that can protect themselves. And to create the kind security architecture that will help us to protect Nigeria 24/7, we need to involve the people. We've suggested it. There is no skyrocket science about it. From every of the 8,809 electoral ward, let the communities, the missions, the churches, the mosque select 100 of their sons who they trust, who are not on drugs, who are not part of the criminal gang. Let them be enrolled and enlisted into the army. It will give us 850,000 plus new infantry foot soldiers. Send them to the military, train them well, post them back to their wards and communities. Give them AK-47, AK-49. Provide 4 armored personnel trucks, carriers to them in every local government area. Provide them with motorized trucks, with machine guns. They are part of the Nigerian Military High Command. Let them work with the regular army. Unleash them. Go into the bushes. Go into the forest. Chase away all the bandits. These guys will be paid a minimum of at least 150,000 naira to encourage them. Good remuneration. Provide them health insurance. Provide them life insurance cover, just like American soldiers have. These guys will also provide security for the agro clusters that will establish in each of the help us to provide agro clusters that we are going to set up in each of the 8,809 electoral wards. There's no electoral ward in Nigeria that should not have an agro cluster, an industrial cluster of at least 1,000 hectares of agro park. Produce competitively what you can produce there. This country can easily generate nothing less than $200 billion revenue from the whole agro value chain in areas we can be very competitive. We have done the numbers, we have done the templates, we have studied every part of Nigeria and what they can competitively produce in such a way that we will produce and export out of Nigeria nothing less than $375 billion oil and non-oil resources. These things are the simple ways you can fix Nigeria and bring down inflation. It's very simple law of demand and supply. When production and productivity, when supply is more than demand, prices will come down. When we earn far more dollar than we consume and steal by the politicians, Naira will gain drastically above the dollar. When we produce more food than we consume, food prices will come down. When we secure lives and properties, foreign diaspora, foreign direct investment will inflow. Nobody goes to invest in a place where there is atmosphere of chaos and anarchy. Nigeria is under siege. The only problem we have in Nigeria is the debt and deficit of quality leadership in the modes of Michael Okpara, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, and Obafemi Awolowo. If we can get leaders in that same visionary, legacy-minded mode, this country will move forward. We will keep on talking. We will never stop talking. We will keep on hammering it. We pray it. We will keep on talking. Like Prophet Micaiah, some of us have decided we're not going to be among the 400 lying prophets of Ahab that led him to his death and doom. We will keep on saying the truth. We know the truth is hurtful to your ears, but God will keep on breaking you until you do the right things. This country is fixable. If you like, keep on playing it. We can keep on borrowing monies from FPIs, keep on issuing T-bills, keep on collecting dollar. After collecting dollar, by next year, you start paying it back. If we do not fix the rot in the oil and gas sector, if we do not ramp up output and bring in efficiency, if we do not divest federal government holding from NNPC to allow private sector players to participate the way it is with Nigerian liquefied natural gas, we'll keep on wasting our time. Let us keep chasing shadows. May God have mercy on us.